Howdy, folks, and welcome to Moose Podcast 219. Well, top of the season to you all. Thanks so much for taking time out of this very busy time of year. Drop on by and give me a listen. I'm very grateful, and I appreciate your folks, some of you to unbelievable extent, how much you're helping push out the Moose Podcast. And though I'm not really looking for the big numbers, I am truly looking for the quality, folks, and I appreciate all of you who keep tuning in around this globe, which is still mind-boggling to me. In a little spot in Montana that I reach out to so many people and you reach back, I am eternally and forever grateful. So thank you so much. I also want to thank my good friends at Bedford's Camera, bedfords.com. More and more of you are venturing there to make your purchases, and you're coming back and saying thanks to me for pointing it towards them. Understand that I'm doing nothing really. It's the great folks at Bedford's that's providing you not just the service, but the inventory to take care of your photographic needs and the pricing to make it as economical as can be in these times. And there with the expert advice to help you buy the right thing the first time. So thank you, Bedford's Camera. And remember, when you check out, make sure you use that special Moose code, MOOSE, get you that discount, save you real money. All you do is ask all the number of folks who are using it. It saves you real money, and that can help. So thank you, bedfords.com. So let's get right into today's podcast. Sharing. Now and always. Had an interesting, very rewarding Zoom interview this past week and got into a little bit of my whole thing about sharing photographs. And after we left the Zoom meeting, I thought about it more and more. And if you listen to the podcast, you know I've talked about sharing before, but I want to talk about it more specifically for what it can do for you. And in that process, what you can do for others. Because sharing now and always should make a world of difference, not just a one-person difference. So let's talk a little bit about the actual sharing process to start with. So I had a number of people who have asked lately, do I mark my photographs in any way before I post them on the internet? So a couple things. One, they're registered as copyrighted images. That just makes it easier for the moment when they do get stolen, because at some point your image is going to get stolen, and that's just the way it is. Get over it. It's not a big deal. It's easy to work through once you have them registered. There's a lot of great info, especially on Kelby One, on how to make that happen. It's really a no-brainer anymore, especially compared to the days of slides. So, yeah. Next, the way you mark them electronically, there's lots of ways. I mean, Digimark is a simple plug-in that you can put in Photoshop that makes it really simple. And how? Well, so when you look at my photographs, say on the website or Instagram, now those photographs, you'll see them, they've already been sized. You'll see a watermark in the lower corner, which I don't really like, but I'll talk about it in a second. And all of that is being done by an action in Photoshop. Back in the old days, I used to post my photographs and it used to look like a quote-unquote poster you might see on a wall. That too was an action. Now, if you don't know what an action is inside Photoshop, the best way to describe it is a very simplistic automatic script that you just click on action and click on the record, and it records all your keystrokes. Then you stop it. So you don't have to memorize all those things. You just click on that action and it runs it. In this case, my action is very simple. It's going to take the file. It's going to flatten it. It's going to convert it to sRGB. It's going to convert it to 8-bit because they're all 16-bit. It's then going to size it 1200 by 1200. That way, if it's a vertical or a horizontal, it'll still be the same size. Then it's going to embed in that my watermark that you see in the lower right corner, copyright Moose Peterson. And then the last thing is to do is going to embed the Digimark watermark inside the file. And that just makes it really simple. If you want to really raise your blood pressure, you run the report and see how many times your photograph's been grabbed. And then at the end of the action, it just closes the file and saves it as a JPEG, and you're done. And in this process, it's really fast, very simple to prepare an image to share it on the web. And that's one of the primary ways in which we share. The other way, which is not as simple, but I think is so much more gratifying, is the print. And this time of year, we tend to send out, we as in here at the office, more prints. And we send them out to folks that are, I don't want to say they were clients, because a lot of them don't actually put any money in our pockets. They put a lot of love in our hearts. And we send a lot of prints out to them as thank yous. With the wood shop up and going, I'm actually doing more framing, building my own frames and sending them out, which brings the level up of the share a little bit from years past. But that print, you can't begin to imagine the impact until you start doing it. I got a text this week of one of the prints that was given to someone, and they were just literally over the top. Didn't see it coming, didn't know it was going to happen. Absolutely loved the photograph. And you got to understand from their point of view, you've given a big part of yourself. And they see it not as a monetary gift. They don't see it as a business write-off gift. They actually see it as as from the heart. And that is really true sharing, for now and always. Because as Vincent Versace taught me a long time ago, when someone has your art on their wall, they never forget you. That's pretty powerful if you think about it. Somebody's got your art on their wall. They'll never forget you. That's a biggie. Now, sharing of prints does take more. It takes a printer and paper and some skills. Remember, the print lab's there on the website for free. Gets you through it. You got my email address if you have questions. So printing does take a little bit more, but the rewards are bigger. But let's go with the more simplistic, okay? The simple website, blog post, Instagram. So I just talked about the action, which is the simple way in which to share that. But we don't tend just to share the click. There's always something in there that goes with it. That is some verbiage, some text, a caption, our thoughts. And often, at least for myself, a lot of the photographs I post are part of a larger project. They're not just a one photograph. There's others that would be part of it, and that would tie the whole thing together. You wouldn't have to have technically any kind of caption. You would understand my story by looking at the series of photographs. But I'm just going to talk about Instagram for the moment. When you see those photographs, two things are going on. That one is it's going to sound bad no matter what I do, but I don't really care if I get likes, and it's not important to me about comments. What is important to me when I share that image is that I actually speak to you, the one looking at the photograph. And I don't want you to say, oh, nice f-stop, or great composition, which is stupid comments. I'm sorry. I really want you to say, wow, that is, I didn't know that existed. I was not aware of that. That's just cool. The goal of my sharing my photographs is to share the very good fortune that I have every time I go out shooting. And that good fortune can come from everything from the fact that I am able to go out shooting and do the projects I want. It could be the good fortune of the photo god smiling on that moment, that the critter got in the right spot, the light hit the right rock, the clouds in the right spot in the sky, whatever that good fortune is. That's really what I want to share with others, is that what I think is so blessed, good fortune that I get to enjoy really, really often. And I count my blessings for that, because that is the sharing that goes beyond good composition and good f-stop. Really. Anyway, it's meant to give people who aren't as fortunate a chance to see what is out beyond their front door. Perhaps motivate, if just one person, to go out beyond what they already think they can do. That is really kind of the goal of sharing, is sharing your good fortune. It doesn't put money in anybody's pocket. It doesn't put food on the table. It just puts hopefully a glimmer in their heart and a little bit of inspiration and passion that they go out and do the same thing. At the very least, just go out and see it for themselves. And if they're fortunate enough, witness what they think is amazing, take a picture of it, and then share it with others. Play it forward. And this time of year, sharing goes with the season, right? I mean, that's everybody's in the spirit of sharing, and giving that extra here, there, and the other place. It's what happens on December 26th, and then the rest of the 364 days until we get to December 25th again, that I would really like to ask photographers to put their best foot forward and to share their images, not for themselves, but what it can do for others. I kind of always have this, I've had it for a long time. Whenever I write something, I always feel great gratitude for anybody who stops and reads it. Just like I do for you folks who stop and listen to this podcast. I want to make sure that I, in some way, reward you or thank you or praise you or just get down and worship you for spending a little bit of time with me. And I want to do that by providing some inspiration, some information, some education, hopefully a few giggles that you can take and internalize, and then move what you do as a photographer forward. I'm very fortunate. I feel like I get to do that quite a bit. Your emails, your texts, some of the packages that have arrived, it's just, I'm very touched and overwhelmed by how simple sharing comes back many, many fold. And I know a lot of photographers who say, no, I don't want to do that because I don't want to take money from somebody else, or, I'm not. There is no excuse for not sharing. There is no excuse. Sharing is a win-win-win, especially when you share for the other person's benefit and not for you just to get a like or a love or comments to make you feel good for 2 minutes. When you share for the simple reason that you're trying to elevate all those who get to look at your image and perhaps read your words, that's when you know you've actually done what you need to do with your gift with photography, sharing. So in this season and beyond this season, remember that sharing now and always, at the very least, will move your photography forward, but more than likely help other people see a little bit of a brighter day, and that's a great thing. Wishing you folks all the best, and remember to make every click your story.